What's good, y'all? We are back on go. The Carmelo Anthony trial rendered the verdict. Guilty is the verdict that has been reached, and the sentencing phase now begins. Now, the Carmelo Anthony trial has moved into the sentencing phase after the Collins County jury found him guilty of unaliving Austin Metcalf. Now, the verdict came in after less than 3 hours of deliberations, which many courtroom observers viewed as a strong rejection to the defense's self-defense argument. Now, before the jury re-entered the courtroom, members of both families took their seats, and many noticed that the jurors appeared to focus straight ahead and showed little emotion as the proceedings continued. While nobody can tell what the jurors are actually thinking, some legal analysts often view that type of courtroom demeanor as a difficult sign for the defense. Now, once sentencing began, the prosecution rested quickly while the defense called Carmelo Anthony's mother to testify, fighting back tears. She told the jurors that her son was remorseful and pleaded, please have mercy on her son, which is her oldest son as well. Throughout this trial, the prosecutors argued that the evidence dismantled both the self-defense claim and the argument that this was simply a crime of passion. One of the most memorable themes that happened in these courts back and forth proceedings is that the lead prosecutor said that mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. And those words ring very, very loudly in that courtroom and upon those jurors. Now, the same jury must decide the punishment now under Texas law. Anthony faces a sentence ranging from 5 to 99 years of life in prison. Rather than asking for a specific number publicly, the prosecutors placed the responsibility on the jury to determine what justice requires based on the facts, the law, and the value of a life that was lost. Now, as of now, all eyes remain on the jury as they decide how many years Carmelo Anthony will spend behind bars, man. So again, there's no winners in this case. The Metcalf family have lost a son. The Anthony family have also lost their son to the jail system. And we don't know for how long this is going to be. So I do want to keep y'all updated. We're going to take a little listen in to some of the courtside legal analysts that are talking about this case and what they're thinking about what this verdict means and what we can expect from the sentencing. So salute to everybody. Make sure y'all slapping that like button. Make sure you're subscribing to On Go to make sure that you're notified for new content, all right?
Well, then we just had Keith Harris has joined us. Keith, you were in the courtroom when the verdict came in and also during the punishment phase. Just walk us through what you saw and heard.
So as they were bringing everyone in, they brought the Metcalf family in first, and then they brought the Anthony family in, and then the general public. Everybody had a seat. The judge brought the jury in. One thing that I noticed just as an attorney looking at the jury as they were walking in, they weren't looking at the defendant. And usually from a defense standpoint, if they're not making eye contact with your client, I kind of assume that this probably wasn't going to be a good verdict for the defendant. They did find him guilty of murder. The judge took a little bit of a break. He held Mr. Anthony's bond insufficient, which means that he goes into custody. They took him away for a little while. When the verdict was read, looking at the Anthony family, they seemed pretty stoic at first, but you could clearly just tell by the verdict. I mean, both families have been affected by this, and both families became pretty emotional. They were holding it in as best they could, but you could hear emotions just on both sides, and you could see relief, and some of the Metcalf family rubbing each other's backs and hugging each other. They took Mr. Anthony away while the defense team, Toby and Mike, got to talk to him in the holdover. And then they brought him back whenever they were going to start the punishment phase. When Mr. Anthony came out of the holdover, you could tell he looked pretty shocked, just really like just a stunned look on his face. They sat him down. They brought the jury in. One thing that was interesting in punishment, both sides, it's like you start all over again. State can give an open statement. Defense can give an opening statement. Bill Worski waved open, which means he wasn't going to give one. Mike Howard then waved open. So Mr. Worski, the burden's on the state for punishment. he rested. He didn't call a witness or anything like that. And so then what happened was Mr. Howard had an opportunity. He called, I believe, Miss Hayes, which is Karmelo Anthony's mother, and he asked her maybe 4 or 5 questions, finding out that Mr. Anthony's her oldest. She had indicated, he's my oldest, my firstborn. She said, I'll always love you. Clearly emotional. After that, Mr. Howard rested or passed her as a witness, allowed Mr. Worski to ask her a couple questions. And I think he asked her 2 questions. He said, at the end of the day, you love your son. She agreed to that. And he said, and your son will always be a part of your life, and always you'll be able to see him. So obviously setting up the argument that she, no matter what happens in this case, she's still going to have a son that's living, a relationship with him, and get to see him. And so after that, he was done. Mike Howard then rested in punishment. Bill closed in punishment. Mike closed. And so now they're just preparing the charge for closing arguments for punishment. So I think that they'll argue today, and we could see a verdict today.
What do you make of that? What do you make of only one witness being called and the defense not presenting anymore? Do you think that they have an inkling of what this jury might be thinking? I mean, that's kind of hard to predict as a lawyer, but it is a little stunning that they only called one character witness.
Yeah, it is a little surprising. I think my read from this is I think the attorneys are just letting the case speak for itself. I think that instead of calling a bunch of witnesses, Mike Howard did ask Miss Hayes, do you think your son's remorseful? And she said, yes, I absolutely know that he's remorseful. I know that he's sorry that this happened. And I think that they're just going to let the case stand on itself. I mean, I think you can get in the weeds and you can call a bunch of stuff and make this longer and longer. But at the end of the day, I think that both sides kind of just want to see Mr. Anthony's sentence for this case, in this case alone.
What do you think convinced this jury that murder was the appropriate verdict here?
I never want to question a jury's verdict. I think that they really did look at the facts of the case. And I think that at the end of the day, I'm assuming that they just couldn't get past that lethal force for the force that was used towards Mr. Anthony. And I think, I was surprised at the time period that it took them to get there. But again, I think that to me, it seems like they didn't struggle at all with those questions or go into a lesser or anything like that. So I think that they pretty much were able to resolve that.
Were you surprised by the prosecution's decision not to put more witnesses on the stand, or do you think there could have been some sort of an agreement about how this part was going to go?
In punishment?
Right.
I just think that at some point the family's going to get to give a victim impact after the verdict on punishment. So I would assume Bill's just going to let them say their piece then. I think probably in guilt innocence that the jurors have already heard the effects of probably the family and what this has done to the family and things like that. So I just do think probably from a professional standpoint, I just think that these attorneys are just saying, look, we could get in the weeds, we could call a ton of people, we can be here for longer and things like that. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it's going to make any other difference. And I think that they really are just saying, these are the facts of the case. And I would assume that Bill's going to get up there and argue and say, look, you've heard the facts of the case. And that's what your punishment verdict's going to be, is you tell us what you think of this offense and what you think of these facts and what your verdict is.
What would you expect to see in the punishment charge?
Just telling the jury what the punishment range is. There was no evidence of sudden passion in punishment or anything that would lower the punishment to be considered to 2 to 20 if there was sudden passion. So they're going to get the full range of punishment for a murder, which is 5 to 99 years or life. And so they're going to get in their instruction, having found the defendant guilty of murder, you're now asked to consider punishment in this. And it will tell them that they can consider everything in the case and the underlying case on top of anything that they heard in punishment, but that they are to assess a punishment in between 5 and 99 years or life in prison on their verdict. So that's going to be their range, and they're going to be instructed of that.
I got one challenge for you. Try Whisper Flow one time,
It's been very calm. Both families have been cordial to one another. Out here, there was a lot of emotion. You weren't able to see that. There's a lot of emotion from the community.
Sorry about that. I'm not logged into my Premiere account, but it's just a sad situation on both ends, and being based upon how fast the jury rendered their verdict and they came to this in like under 3 hours of deliberation. The prosecutors could have gave them a number, could have said, we think that this is a sufficient number, or this amount of time would be feasible for this whole situation to enact justice. But we now know that the prosecution has left this in the jury's hands to say, we're going to leave it to you to do what's right by the law, and what is the cost of a life that's lost. So what is this going to mean for Karmelo Anthony? Some people are saying, he might not get no less than 20 years. Some people are saying he'll get life. The defense is trying to push for a range between 2 and 20 years to say, don't take away his whole life, because this did happen when he was 17 years old, and he has expressed remorse. He did shed some tears in the court today as well. After the guilty verdict, he was shedding tears as well. So do they throw away his life? But a life was lost at the same time. You know what I mean? So this jury has a lot weighing on their hands right now as far as sentencing goes for Karmelo Anthony. But let me know what y'all think, because the verdict is in now. So he's guilty. So we don't have to debate the guilt or the innocent no more, right? What do you think, as far as time goes, that Karmelo Anthony is going to get? How much time do you think he's going to get in prison? I think he was battling this coming to court from outside. But as soon as the verdict was read, he was taken into custody and brought through that door. And that's a very emotional time, which is what a crazy thing is. When the verdict was read, it wasn't like a big outburst in the court, like in some unaliving cases, or not even just unaliving cases, when people have found justice, or even on the other side. I was watching the Cyrus Benton case, and his family kind of cried out too, and you heard the gasp and you heard the emotion in the court. As far as the Metcalf family, they was pretty, they were emotional as well, but rubbing each other's backs and hugging each other, seeming that they got some kind of justice. So, it's just a bad situation all around, man. Let me bring Phrases in. Salute, salute. What's going on?
Good. Hey, Uda. Thank you for
Hey,
having me
what's up?
here. It's really solemn, a solemn day. And you're right. I have to say that I agree with you. Even though I was upset about things that were happening outside of the courtroom, I have to agree with you for the fact that, both sides lose. There's no win. This is a lose-lose. And I'm a mother, and I feel sorry for Austin's mom, and I feel sorry for Carmelo's mom, and they're going to have, this is a lifelong thing that they're going to have to live with. As far as the verdict, I really was hoping for at least manslaughter. I didn't want, I wasn't expecting for it. Well, I was expecting that it was going to be this, but I was hoping for at least manslaughter. And here was my thoughts the whole time. So we covered it the whole time, right? And my thoughts was
Mhm.
that the jury was very emotional with the Metcalf family. They were very emotional every time, and I was worried about, like, are they gonna make, is the verdict gonna end up being off of emotions? And did they actually in fact stay non-biased the entire time? And I felt like some of them struggled with being non-biased the whole time. And so I worried, and I said it several times, I'm scared for him. I'm scared for him for the simple fact that the emotions are high and the jurors are showing their emotions. So at the end of the day, I know that it could be 5 up to 99 years. I'm hoping that once they deliberate and because as you said, they gave it to the jury to decide. So they decided guilty, but will they give him remorse? Mom has spoken. He was a child when he did it. He's more mature. These are things that, it happened. We can't take it back. But he was remorseful immediately when it happened. He cried. The coach talked about his emotions and how genuine his emotions were then. And he's still, genuinely emotional about it. Like, he didn't want him to pass. The coach said when he talked to him, he told him, he said, if he passes away, this is going to be your life is going to change dramatically. And he was like, no, he's not going to pass away, but he's not going to pass away. So he was thinking, I'm going to hurt him, make him know that he can't put his hands on me, but I ain't trying to take his life. So I feel like he's remorseful.
I feel he's remorseful as well. You know what I mean? But then when you're thinking about poking somebody in their chest, you know what I mean? What do you expect to happen? And what was crazy, a crazy time during the court case, Carmelo actually turned his eyes and he didn't want to see, but they brought up the image of his actual heart and how it was, what happened to his heart, besides the wounds in his chest or what happened to Austin. They actually brought an image up of his heart to show what the weapon did to him. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a sad situation, Yeah, Austin put his hands on him. Yeah, he did. You know what I mean? Does that require you to do that to him? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what he was feeling. Nobody knows what's in his mindset. Nobody knows why he was carrying that weapon. He could have been going through a lot of things. Some people are saying he was being jumped. Other people are saying, you know what I mean? So many sides to this story. So none of us really knows what Carmelo really felt. You know what I mean? And maybe we would have got that if he was able to get on the stand. But I don't think he should have got on the stand because I think the prosecution would have chewed him up. I think that it made him look really crazy if he got on that stand. But after you get a guilty verdict, this is something that's going to weigh on your mind. Like, damn, could I have spoken for myself? Because there's no better witness besides you or Austin of the situation. Y'all both have the exact vantage point of what happened. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you're right. They were talking about the law and how you can protect yourself. So you protect with the same energy. Like, if you push me back, I push you back. But if I push you, we fighting and you stab me, right? Then that feels aggressive, more aggressive. And so we can't deny, even as a culture, right? We can't deny the fact that he's taken somebody's life. We have to admit that, right? We don't like what
Yeah.
was outside of the court, but when we talk about the law and what really happened, you life, and he didn't do it. I never will say that he went to that tent and to intentionally hurt somebody, to intentionally
I
start.
don't think so.
He never went with. I don't think he went with that energy. It just unfolded really quickly, and things just will happen rapidly. But he did, at the end of the day, take somebody's life, and there's some kind of consequence for that. But I don't think it's M1.
And that's why I think about this other kid. What his name was, E or Eddie. You know what I mean? The
Eddie.
person that he was in there talking with in the tent. When this is all transpiring, it seemed like he was mum's the word when this all was happening. You know what I mean? Even though these are all young people want to fit in. We watch grown adults want to fit into circles. You know what I mean? We watch it. But you know what I mean? Sometime as an intermediate, you know what I mean? You can say, all right, cool, man. Yo, listen, man. All right, man. Listen, man. Just get out the tent, man. Come on. I'm gonna follow you. Let's go over here, get shelter over here. Sometimes we need to not just watch what's happening around us and take more of an initiative around us to say, you know what I mean? Try to stop things before it really gets into motion, because everything I've ever seen happen around me in my neighborhood, everything transpires very, very fast in a matter of moments,
Before even thinking about
Sad.
it. Before even thinking about it. And this is last. I don't know if anybody else wants to come up or whatever, and I won't hold you long. But this is the last thing I want to say is that we talk about how it could have been avoided, and it could have. Like, I know that the coach texts you and the coach said, step up, be a leader, man the tent, whatever. But when the moment that Carmelo gave him pushback, don't put your hands on him. Go tell the coach that texts you, text him back and saying, hey, we got somebody over here that's not leaving. Can you come help me, get this? And that it could have been. And then on the other side of it, we got to look at the flip side. Carmelo should have just said, all right, y'all don't want me over here, I'm gonna leave. He could have said that, and it could have been. But we say what could have been, but in that moment, you just don't think.
Everything happens so fast in that moment, you're not backing down. You know what I mean? You feel like people trying to move you and trying to tell you where you can and can't be, when everybody could be everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's good to be everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I could see some of that of how he felt,
Yeah.
but what did you have to prove? You know what I mean? You had a lot to prove in that situation. And now this is what's happened now. You know what I mean? And that's just a sad situation. Did I think that Austin was kind of being more the bully than Carmelo? I think he probably was. He was bigger than him as well. I felt that he was really the one put his hands on Carmelo and did all those things. Carmelo was probably banging back, saying whatever he was saying. I think, you know what I mean, in this moment, how it's going on, because he was still seated when Austin put his hands on him too as well. He was still
Right.
seated. So he ain't jumping with the energy and had that energy. You know what I'm saying? So we knowing that energy going up like that. You feel
Yep.
me?
Yeah, and you got your twin brother too that's just as big as you. You know, and then now Eddie ain't helping me. Eddie's not saying nothing. I came over here to talk to Eddie. You know, Eddie ain't saying nothing like, y'all, bro, chill out. Come on, Carmelo, let's walk over here. None of that.
Let's go over here, son. You know what I'm saying? And it takes that sometime as a friend or as somebody that's spectating that could be an intermediate in between and say, you know what? All right, cool. It's going too far. Yo, look, bro, come, son. Let's go over here. Son is doing too much. And it seems that Eddie didn't say nothing. I don't want to put the weight of the world on him because he's a young kid. He's a young kid at the time too, as well. You know, but at the end of the day, maybe him saying something could have just, you know what I mean, brought this whole situation down, and we wouldn't be here where a young child's life is lost and another one is lost to the system. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Uda, for letting me come up. I appreciate it. I'm glad I caught it live. I'm gonna go back in the
Yeah.
chat to you for the remainder of your live, okay?
I appreciate you, Queen. I appreciate you
All
all the
right.
time.
Have a good day.
Salute to you, Queen. Salute to Black Blank magazine popped up. Spoke a piece on this case, man. You know what I mean? Y'all open to speak y'all parts on this case. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's no winners in this case. I heard some people saying, oh, Austin deserved this and deserved that. Maybe he deserved to get hit or pushed or whatever, though, but I don't think that he deserved to get unalived. This is just truth. You know what I'm saying? Carmelo should have never unalived him. I don't know if that was his intention to unalive him, but when you poking somebody in their chest, what other intention or what other result do you think you're gonna get? What other result you think you're gonna get if you're poking someone in their chest? You know what I mean? We understand that Carmelo said at that time, listen, touch me or whatever the case, you're gonna see what happened. Seems that his words rang true, and something did happen after he did place those hands on him. That's the thing. You got it? They gave that to him, Phil? He got that? Phil, tell me if this is what happened. Tell me, Phil. Hold up. Let me go look for the update. No. Tell me what happened. Hold up. Did they reach the verdict? Oh shit, he got 35 years, yo. Damn, they gave him 35 years, yo. Damn. They gave him 35 years, bro. He's a kid, bro. He's a kid, bro. They gave him 35 years in prison. Damn. You up here with me, Face Black? Shit. You probably on mute. You probably on mute. Let me see if I can pull up that screen share. They gave him 35 years in prison, bro. That's a rough one for him, man. That is a rough one for him, bro. Oh my God, bro. Yup, 35 years.
It does look like people are looking somber. They're looking very very astonished.
Those are some
Wow.
folks
Are we
leaving
seeing
the courtroom. I have no idea who those people are. I don't believe they're any active part of what we're experiencing here. This could very well be some media. Again, you know, the media from everywhere in McKinney for this.
Yes. I mean, it hit obviously the national news. And I just want to make one prosecuted people that have killed people eligible for parole. He will have to go away. I will tell you that it's important that we always remember here in Texas.
Eligible for parole after serving half.
To ask all of the other judges to comply with what he thought was going to be the safest way to manage a trial that created this amount of, sort of division within this community, he said, we can't just work 5 days. We have to work 6 days. We have to try to move this as quickly as possible. Everybody deserves a break. The jurors, most significantly, they need some time off to be able to process what they're hearing outside of just the evenings that they got to go home. But it was a tremendous shift in the way that business is done in Collin County. And so I do think
Let me
if
interrupt
we're going to
you.
do that,
Let me interrupt you,
oh,
Bree.
we have.
Let me interrupt you. The verdict is in. It is 35 years is the sentence, not under passion. 35-year sentence for Karmelo Anthony, eligible for parole after serving half of that time. So
Wow.
there is the sentence.
What's your reaction?
There's the sentence.
Ooh, I think you on mute, bro. You on mute, bro. Damn, 35 years, yo. Unmute yourself.
Yo, salute. It's popping.
What's goody, bro? Buddha, what up, bro?
What up? Just tapping in, man. It's unfortunate that he got to do the time, but we all know the system isn't fair to us. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you got to school your kids to avoid situation like this. You know what I mean? Especially in a state like Texas, man. The racism is kind of strong out there. You know what I mean? And we have to be mindful that a lot of these court systems are, they have a certain level of systemic racism. You know what I mean? So this system is designed for us not to really, succeed. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate that this is a hard lesson that he's gonna have to learn by himself, man. His parents can't save him. Nobody can save him, man. He's kind of cooked, man. I mean, his best bet is to try to file an appeal and go to trial again. But I don't see them offering him like a plea deal. You know what I'm saying? They're going. You see, they
The
already
first
threw the
initial
book
deal
out.
was 40. He
Yeah,
saved
40
5
years.
years. The first initial deal was 40. You know what I'm saying? He got 35. He's missing 5 years from that, bro. Basically, he got what he was going to get from the beginning, which is crazy as well, bro. It's crazy, bro.
It sucks, man, because it's truly self-defense, man. The Caucasian kid, he has a reputation of being a bully, and he be putting hands on people, So
I heard that. I heard that. I most definitely heard that. We've seen other people get less time. I didn't know they would give him like 35 years though. Probably thought he'd probably get like a dub, probably get him like 20 though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe do half of that, like 10 years. You may be up for some kind of appeal going home or something like that. If not, you just get hit at the board. I thought it'd be something like that. But 35 years sends a message, not only to his family and to him. I think it just sends a message to the whole state and to everybody in America, bro. You got 35 years,
Yeah, you
what
gotta
crime that he did as a kid,
You gotta understand, like if he's doing time too, you catch tickets in there. So each ticket you catch in there, you know what I'm saying? That's another additional time added to your sentence, man. Unless, he get put on PC,
Probably, but damn, you're gonna do your whole bid on PC, bro. That's rough too, bro. That's a rough bid, man. You want to
that's
be
gonna be his
killing
best bet.
population.
You know what I
Because you're in there
mean?
with grown men, son. You're in there with
Yeah.
some serious individuals. And then you got those people that's like skinhead type people that's gonna want you on a plate. Then you got them prison officers who may be racist as well. And they might be offering you up to certain peoples, putting you in situation for people to hurt you, trying to enact their own justice on you. Just because you got 35 years and they feel like they've gotten some justice, maybe the family, that don't mean certain people that have their own feeling feel that you got the justice that you deserve, though. They gonna, try to hurt you in that place, bro. You know what I'm saying? Guards is trying to hurt you. Inmates is trying to hurt you. People are trying to hurt you in there.
It's definitely not going to be an easy bet, especially in the state of Texas, man. You know what I mean? You got to understand, man, like, behind the wall, that racism is alive and well in there, Everybody's kind of like on some tribal type joint, you know what I mean? The Mexicans is with the Mexicans, the whites is with the whites, the blacks is with the blacks, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, man. By looking at his size, he's gonna have to, I don't know, man, join like a Muslim clique or something, that
He's
have that
gonna have
type
to.
of
He's gonna have to.
yeah, you know,
Hopefully some
because
OGs take him kind of under the wing, you know what I mean? Kind of take him under the wing and, you know what I mean, kind of guide him through his bid and stuff like that. But most definitely might have to get down with like the Islamics or something like that. He's gonna have to do something. There's no
he's gonna
way
have to
you
do
doing that
something, yeah,
time by yourself,
by
bro.
yourself.
It's
I mean,
rough.
unless you a
In Texas, my
thoroughbred,
cousin was
man.
locked in Texas. Man, my cousin's was a wild man, bro. He's an unaliver, bro. And he had a bid in there, bro. He was in there for like 10 years, bro. Still owed them a little bit of time when he left up out of there, bro. And he
Yeah,
was
but you
telling
gotta
me the
understand,
stories in
even
Texas.
though
Real.
you're sentenced to 10 years, you're not guaranteed coming home 10 years. You know what I'm saying? You could get additional um years added on too. Cause like, yo, man, like
Yes.
prison politics is real, man, you
Yes.
gotta be able to not only defend yourself physically, but you gotta be able to politic with other inmates in there as well. So, you get into an altercation, you cut somebody, I mean? You catch a ticket for that. That's another additional time added to your sentence.
More time, more time, more time. And in a place like that, you got to get busy. You got to get busy in a place like that. You're going to have to show who you are. You're going to have to do some things. You're going to have to spend some time in a hole in solitary confinement. It's a lot of time. I know people that spent years in solitary confinement from fighting and doing things like that, just banging back in prison. They've done
Yeah,
years in solitary confinement, bro. Some people go there for at least for traffic infractions. Some people go to prison for little small crimes, 6 months to a year, end up spending 6, 10 years, even life, 20 years in prison, bro. And you had a
yeah,
short bid like 2 years or something like that, bro.
yeah, yeah. That's
And
why
then
we
you
have
got
that's why
yeah,
we
yeah,
gotta,
bro.
I mean, if you got kids, man, you gotta let them know this system is against you. So you have to be mindful on how you move in the outs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Now look, I mean, you're cooked. You know what I mean? You don't have
bro.
money for an attorney. You know what I'm saying? And the
It's
amount of
cool.
money you put in for attorney, man, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean?
And that defense seemed shoddy to me. Defense seemed shoddy. You know what I mean? Did they do all they could have done for him? Could they have done anything? But when they wrapped up pretty quickly, not to say that because it's not the defense to prove it, it's
Well, I
up
mean,
to the
it's gonna
prosecution.
wrap
You know
up
what I mean?
quickly because he doesn't have. I don't know what's his status with an attorney, but like it seems like they don't have much money to pay for an attorney. Those trials are expensive, man. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know,
he
to,
got a
to,
lot of funding from the people. Yeah,
I heard they don't have access to those
those
donations.
funds.
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy
yeah.
if that's the
That's why it's
case, man.
probably moving at a rapid pace right now because they don't have bread for a real attorney. Just to
Because they
talk.
called the defense and called a couple of witnesses. One of the defense's witnesses said that they felt that Carmelo was in the wrong. How do you call a witness that's supposed to be on your side and they say that your client is guilty or wrong in the situation? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, it just sucks, man. Yo, man. Stay out of prison, man. Prison's really gladiator school. Once you in there,
It
man,
is.
you know what I'm
It
saying? You're
is,
gonna
bro.
have to do some things to survive in there, man. I mean, you're gonna see
For real, bro.
it's a horror story in there. People that do a stretch, they come home, they're never the same again, man.
Not the same again, bro. People are not the same, son. It's traumatic, bro. Trust me, man. Going behind the walls, you're never the same, man. It's some of the things you witness, watching people hang it up, watching all kind of situations, watching people's manhoods get taken. You know what I'm saying? People taking people manhoods. All of that's happened. You in real prison. I'm in New York City. Those things was going on in Rikers Island, which is insane to me. It's a
Gladiator
county
school.
jail. It's a county jail. It's not even a prison. And those things was happening in Rikers. So imagine the atrocities that's happening in a real state prison like the one in Texas, bro. Serious business,
Yeah,
bro.
you're gonna be around a lot of live wires, man. All you cut out for
Lifers.
gladiator school. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They call it gladiator school for a reason, man. Know what I mean?
for real. For real, bro. For real, man. It's crazy, man. 35 years, though, bro. Damn, yo. I didn't think that they would give him 35 years, though.
I seen that coming a mile away, man. I'm like, they're gonna throw the book at
35?
him. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Damn, 35 years, bro. So they said,
You got
forget
to
it, man. You
understand,
took
yo,
his
now,
life and that's it.
with these new laws that's changing up, they could probably deport them. That's what they've been doing to
All of
Americans,
those types of
stripping
things.
from your
Oh, sending
citizenship.
people to that C-SPAC,
Yeah,
whatever that name of that prison is right here.
yeah,
In
man.
like Venezuela, wherever the hell that
Yeah,
thing at. Yeah,
once you
bro.
get shipped out there, man, that's it, man. You never coming home.
Yo,
You
man, that
never
thing,
coming
you talking
home.
about gladiator school. That thing is dangerous. That's the
Yeah,
thing we see
man.
on Locked Up Abroad where people running around with the shit on with the toaster in the spot. People running around with toasters. What are
Yeah,
you talking
man.
about? Lord
Yo,
Jesus,
man,
bro.
we got to tell the youth to stay out of prison, man, because
That's a fact,
that's
bro.
what you're putting yourself in. You're at risk losing your citizenship, getting shipped out the country, and then
Yeah,
you got to do some crazy things to survive in prison, man.
yeah,
Do
bro.
you have the fortitude to stab somebody in there? You know what I'm saying? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
strong enough to throw hands in
that's what
there?
I'm
You know what I
saying.
mean?
It's real. You with grown men, son. People that's been working out forever. People is like houses, bro. People's like houses, bro. People is booty warriors, bro. Straight up booty bandits. Not even no joke. They ain't seen a woman in 30 years. Okay? Ain't seen a woman in 40 years. They have a prison girlfriend. This is what's going on in here, bro. And you coming through
Prison,
looking like food on a plate, bro.
the
You
prison
looking like
girlfriends be
food.
swole too. They work out too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Real
saying?
talk is
So
real deal.
if you like you yo man, if you 200 pounds, man, you cook. You gotta have some weight in there, man. 240, 260.
Look what Philly's saying. Look what Phil James saying. They can't deport them. They coming up with something that they're saying that they can soon deport people, even if you're American, to this other big prison. What's called CPAC. I forget what it's called. CPAC,
Crazy,
whatever the
man.
prison's called. They sending people across seas to a prison. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Once
This
they
is what
ship
they're
you out
trying to
there,
do to
you
people.
never coming back, man. You never coming back.
Yeah, bro, it's hard, bro. When you go to them type of places, man, them people living on a different time. Life is nothing. That life means nothing when you go to them third world type countries, bro. People is doing that. Everybody done caught it unaliving, bro. Unaliving is like buying sunflower seeds, bro. It's just regular to them, son. It's
Yeah.
regular to these people, bro. Trust
Stay
me,
out
man.
of
It's
prison,
regular.
man. That's not where it's at, man. It's unfortunate that this kid had to, you know, be set as an example, I mean, look at the
Yeah,
Asian
bro.
dude that bodied the kid. Now, even though
Good
those kids
child.
have a reputation of going in there, by watching that footage, the Asian dude was completely wrong. Like that was
He was
premeditated
wrong, bro.
murder. Yeah, you
And
know.
Cyrus came in there, was kind of, you know what I mean? He was complying with him. He said, put your bag down. He came out, he was showing him he ain't have nothing. He did have something heavy on him. Obviously, we know what he had on him, but he was running the whole time, son. He ran out his shoe. He ran again, dropped not only his phone, but his mom's phone. How scared you got to be to drop your mother phone too, knowing that you probably get your ass cut just for losing her phone too. You know what I'm saying? And the witnesses said that it was just a on go situation. It wasn't a situation like the son said he stopped and all of this. They were just chasing after him,
Yeah.
and he hit him in his back, bro. And he hit him in his back, bro.
I mean, we got to start warning these kids to move a certain way, man.
Yeah, man. Stay in school, stay focused. But look, Carmelo was in school. That happened. The track meet,
Yeah.
bro. You know what I'm
I
saying?
heard, I heard it's over a biddy too, man. Like he was politicking with a white chick. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
I
know.
don't know where
Was
they're gonna
he?
come out with the footage, man. But they're probably holding it back because,
I heard he
once
had a girlfriend though. Heard he had a little shorty
yeah,
already.
a
And
little shorty
Eddie,
out
the
there,
kid Eddie
yeah.
was acting like that was his cousin, supposedly, even though Eddie ain't say nothing and say, yo, bro, all right, cool. He here talking to me. All right, cool, Carmelo, come. Let's go over here. Let's get out the tent. It's getting hot. Boom, boom, boom. It seemed like Eddie was just sitting back, mum's the word the whole damn time, son.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, man. But I just wanted to come in and chime in on that, man. Like,
Yeah,
yo,
man.
man,
Appreciate you, bro.
stay out of prison, man. That's not where it's at, man. And be
Not where it's at.
mindful, man. Your anger could cost you your freedom, man. I know it's hard,
Facts, bro.
because you're a young kid, you're gonna make mistakes, but yo, be mindful, man. Like, yo, this system is not playing with us, man. Look how they did Carmelo, man. They threw the book at him. You know what I mean? Look
To the
what they did
book,
with the
bro.
Asian dude. He home, and he
Chilling.
was definitely in the
Eating
wrong.
fried rice. Eating egg foo
Fried
young.
right, yeah. But they destroyed this restaurant, man. But they should have been did that a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Crazy, bro.
All right, King. I'll
Crazy.
catch you on the flip, man. One.
Salute you, bro. Salute to you, bro. Safety out here, broski. Safety out here, man.
All right, you too. One.
One, bro. Nasty work, bro. Yeah, yo. They threw the book at Karmelo. 35 years, Got to do at least half of that to be up for anything. At least half of that. He's 19 now? Maybe when he's like 40 years old, around that 40-ish age range, he'll be up to going to the board and seeing if they want to set him free at that time. But once one of the easiest things to do is to get inside prison or go to jail. The hardest thing is to get out of there. Once you're in there and once they got their hands on you, it's the hardest thing, man. It's the hardest thing. You see people that's trying to do the right things in jail, making a lot of the changes that they need to, taking school and doing the different things, being model inmates in there and all of that. And they're still not releasing them. We know that this occurred when he was a child. He was 17 years old. Maybe that has some bearing, but it all depends on the kind of bid that he has as well. How many write-ups is he going to get? How many tickets is he going to get? How many fights and altercations is he going to get into? You know that he's going to be targeted. He's going to be targeted scracially. You know the word, scracially, bro, by a lot of people that's in there. Skinhead type groups, you know what I'm saying? Prison guards that don't like, and most definitely you done unalived a young white boy. They not with that. They setting you up. They setting you up to get your manhood taken. This is the kind of setups that they're setting you up, bro. They're going to get a booty warrior and lining you up directly. You going to the showers? Clear the showers, y'all. And then send people in there, bro. While you in the shower, taking a shower, bro. This is the type of vibe that's going on in prison, bro. It's not a game, bro. It's traumatic. It's traumatizing. People that's really going in there for long periods of time never come back the same, bro. Even people that's going there for short periods of time, bro. It changes you. Whether hopefully it changes people in the right ways, where people want to change their life and come home and be model citizens and integrate back into society, hopefully seamlessly. But a lot of times, bro, you're changed. You're changed. You're there for unaliving. People pushing you to the limit to say, yeah, you've done that. Can you do it again? Will you do it again? And then once you get in that psyche of catching unalivings, that does something to your mind, bro. Look at King Von, bro. Shit changes you, bro. It changes your psyche, changes your mindset, bro. And one thing about catching unalivings, it don't help you, I'm telling you, listen to me. It don't help you. All it helps you to do is know that you can do it again, or you will do it again if your back's to the wall or if you have to do it. That's all it shows you, is that you can do it again. That's it, bro. And unaliving doesn't do nothing to help you, bro. It's traumatic. You going to sleep, you can't even sleep, bro. You seeing this victim and the person and all of that, even though people deserve it, bro. You seeing that in your head and your mind. It take a sick person in your mind, bro, to not think about that after you catch unaliving, bro. It takes a person that's detached from reality, maybe schizophrenic or whatever the words are to describe the mental disorder, bro. But that's the kind of mind it takes to forget about something and sleep good every night after you've unalived somebody, bro. You know what I mean? It's real, son. I grew up with a lot of people that have done that. Straight up, son. Feel me? I know the deal. And I'm not telling you a story. I'm telling you a true thing. You know what I mean? And Carmelo's in a bad situation, bro. He's in a very, very bad situation, man. It's bad for him right now. The jury, I figured that they would give him something, bro. How quick they rendered their verdict on the less than 3 hours of deliberations. I'm like, okay, they're going to be probably deliberating all day. Cool. I was with my daughter, trying to go out with my daughter, show her some art, show her some history type of stuff I'll be doing with my daughter. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, by the time I turned around, they had a verdict. I said, there were verdicts in? No, bro. This can't be a verdict. It was a verdict in already. I said, no. These people know what they want to say already? the prosecution, because once you do the sentencing phase, both sides get to have, come out and speak. The prosecution, the defense, you could call witnesses and stuff like that. And the leading prosecutor came out to say, it's like what he said, the words were, mercy for the guilty is cruelty to the innocent, bro. And those words were real. And he didn't say nothing. He didn't give them a number. He didn't give them a number. I wonder if he would have given them the same number if he told them a number, but he didn't. He left it all up to the jury to say, look, whatever you think is right, I'm going to leave it to you to decide what the law in this case should be and what the cost of a life should be. It was chaos ensued outside the courtroom as well. Whew, let's listen to a little bit more of this, man. Today is a trying day. There's no winners in this case, bro. It's just nothing but losers, bro. You know what I mean? I feel bad for the Metcalf family. I feel bad for Anthony's family. I feel bad for the mothers in this situation. Both moms. They both sent their kids to school, bro. Sent their kids to do the right thing. They ain't playing for this. Both mothers. And it's crazy. I was hearing mothers kind of say, like, Austin just deserved that too. I don't think he deserved that, bro. Even though Austin was being a bully, I think he was. I wouldn't say that he deserved to have his life taken, though. You know what I mean? And we never got to hear Karmelo speak. So since we never got a chance to hear Karmelo speak, we don't know what his mind was thinking. And why was he carrying the weapon at all? Was he going through some situation? Was people trying to jump him? Did he ever have altercations with these people or anybody from this side before? Did he see them on the street somewhere? What made you want to carry that? You know what I'm saying? We never got a chance to get inside his mindset. And that's the scary part of not testifying in your own case. Because he's going to be sitting back in his cell and thinking like, damn, son, I should have spoke for myself. I should have spoke for myself, man. That's all he's going to think about, bro, is what would have happened. They still rocked me. They still threw the book at me anyway. So if I spoke for myself, would that have changed anything? You know what I'm saying? Would they have heard my side? You know what I mean? So I could actually get a chance to speak about my remorse for the situation. Because his mother said he was remorseful when she went up and spoke today during the sentencing phase. She said that he's very remorseful. We seen him crying in the court. We didn't see, but I heard the testimonies and I heard heard things from journalists and legal analysts. They said he was crying in the court and very emotional as well. So we get it. He was also sentenced. So he's crying for that too as well, right? But he never got a chance to express his remorse, to say, yo, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for this, man. I didn't mean to do this to him. I'm sorry. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? He never was there. He never got a chance. He never got a chance, bro, to express his remorse, man. And that's the sad thing, bro. He's going to think about that. Yeah, he was cooked anyway. I think he was going to be cooked, but at least you get a chance to speak for yourself, because one thing about the human brain, son, is that we just relive moments in our minds over and over and over and over again, especially when there's no closure there. So there's not a door that you could close there. You don't know. You didn't walk through that door. So you're constantly going to think about this, bro. Damn, did my defense, you're going to think you had some shoddy defense. The defense ain't do enough. He's going to be thinking that. But he's going to think for himself to say, yo, bro, what would have happened if I spoke my own mind, bro? What he's gonna think about, bro. Trust me, man. And that shit is sad, bro, for him. Sad for him, bro. Young kid. He's gonna go through hell in there. He's gonna go through hell in that prison system, bro. Hell. Straight. He got 35 years right now. Who's to say, bro? God forbid it, but who's to say, bro? By the time he's said and done, he might be facing life, bro. Might be facing, plus 5, 10 more years. Because people on your heels and you got to deal with them. And you got to get busy. You got to show people you ain't no chump. You got to show people you ain't no sucker. But then I told you, the guards there, people, just because you got your time and you think the people got justice, that don't mean that they feel you've received, that they've got justice. No, people want to enact their own justice and get their own justice from you. They want to see you squirm and squeal in there. They're going to be lining you up every look left, look right. They're going to be lining you up, bro. Sending people to hurt you, sending people to shank you, sending booty warriors to take your booty, bro. This is not a game. This is real deal situations, bro. This is real deal, bro. It's real deal, son. I had a friend, bro. Word, son. That's what happened to him, son. That's what happened to him, son. After a while, son, I heard back stories about him that was in there. He was dressed like a girl, bro. He was dressed like a woman, son. He was somebody's girlfriend in the building, bro. Word, son. He caught a body. He was blood. And he unalived the Crip, bro. In Brooklyn, bro. Unalived the Crip, son. Unalived them in Vanderveer projects. You hear me? He got sentenced to 25 years. Okay? He was young at the time. We was all young. He's probably like, maybe like 18, 19, 20, like 18 or so, around that age. He went up in the mountains with the OGs, bro. A lot of people's lifers, they've never seen a woman in years. They've never been with a woman in 30, 40 years, bro. He coming through all frail and skinny. He was skinny when he went to jail, bro. He wasn't no big size dude. It's a regular average, 5'9" type size dude. Probably weighing about 140 pounds, probably, soaking wet. Yeah, bro. The next time I heard about stories about him, son, he was dressed as a woman. Makeup. Stockings. That type vibe, bro. And he was somebody's girlfriend, bro. Do you hear me, bro? He succumbed to the abuse, bro. Succumbed to the abuse, bro. So those are the things that is awaiting Karmelo in that place, bro. So if people don't think 35 years is enough, shit, bro. 1 year in jail is real, son. Imagine 35 years, bro. With 35 years, you may never make it home, son, just like Tommy said, bro. You never come home again, bro. That's like a life sentence, bro. For a young man, unless you turn very savage very quickly, straight up, and get up in there and commit some unalivings, bro. That's what it is, bro. You got to commit unalivings, bro. That's what it comes down to, bro. And a lot of people on the streets, they want to do stuff. I know a lot of guys, they ooters. They want to oot from far and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But when you in that building, bro, do you got that same energy to unalive somebody for real right now? And doing that to it, but you know what I mean? He did go to jail for doing that. And that's different than just aiming that thing and just letting it go, bro. You got to know the feeling of that. You know what I'm saying, son? That's up close and personal to poke a person, bro. To poke a person in the chest, bro. You feel the knife, bro. You feel it. You feel it hitting stuff in there. You feel it. You know what I'm saying? And then you pull it out. So you feel what's happening on the way out, bro. You feel that, bro. It takes a certain level of an individual to do that. Anybody can just pull a trigger, bro. Anyone can do that, bro. It takes a lot to poke a person, bro. It takes a lot. It's up close and personal, bro. It's up close and personal, man. And sad thing is he might have to do that again and again and again, bro. So he's going to be reliving that nightmare every single day. Trust me, bro. Yeah, probably like 54, 55. Yeah, all his years are gone. Maybe, give or take. That's if he gets out at that time. That's just based on the time he's got, because he's like 20 now and 35. Yeah, that's just based on paper. If he do his whole bid. You know what I'm saying? He could come out a little earlier, depend on your record, depend on what's happening there, depend on your write-ups, depend on your tickets, depend on the violence that you're acting out in there. Depends on all those things. Then you're getting tickets, you're trying to smoke, you're trying to get, next thing you know, you selling something in there, they rush your cell, oh shit, he got the stuff, lock you. You get another time on top of that. So it's not just violent acts you're getting more time for. You also in there moving and shaking, trying to get money. You trying to get money. You know what I'm saying? Now you got OGs that's using you. Yo, listen, hold this in yourself, son. You know what I'm saying? They give you a pack, hold that in yourself, son. But yeah, yo, put this in your booty, yo, hold that for me. Yo, what you mean? Hold that. Yo, word, them guards might be rushing my cell later and all that. Hold that for me. This is real shit, I'm telling you, bro. Not talking to you about the stories that these people are going to talk to you about online. Everybody's talking around the situation. A lot of people never been through nothing. I'm telling you what he's going to face for real, bro. He's a young kid, bro. He's a school kid, bro. He's not no thug. He made a big mistake, bro, that cost him another life and cost him his life too. It cost him his life too. I thought they'd probably give him like 20 years, man. 20 years is rock too, bro. To get 20 years as a 3.7 grade point average kid, to get 20 years, it's crazy, bro. You got rocked. They threw the book at you with 20 years, 25 years. They made a statement out of Karmelo. They made a statement out of him. To think about it, his plea deal was 40 years. Who the hell would willingly take 40 years? No one's going to willingly do that, bro. You're not going to do that, bro. But look what the jury came back to give him. 35. 5 less than what you was going to get anyway in the plea deal, bro. Did his defense do enough? He's going to think about this every day. Should he have spoken up for his own self? That's something that he's going to think about every single day of his life. I don't know if it would have changed anything, but at least we would have had a chance to speak towards the family and say, you know what I mean, I'm sorry for what I've done to your son. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking, like, it just happened in the heat of the moment. And, you know what I'm saying, I was being bullied, or, you know what I'm saying, I was being this and this and that. And other days, some people try to beat me up and all of this. And I just didn't want this to happen again to me. And this is why it happened. We could have some of these questions answered in our heads. The family, the Metcalf family, still don't know why did this really, really happen. Even though they said their son put his hands on him and was telling him to get out, and maybe he got a little reputation of being a bully too as well. Austin does. Who knows, right? That's what they say. But that's not the reason that they're looking for. They want the reason in your mind of why did you do this? Why? Was he able to speak during the sentencing phase? That's another question. Did he speak? Did he speak out to say something, show some remorse? Yeah, the plea was 40, yo. They said 35. So either way, yeah, he was still going to get the 35 to 40. Yeah, he still got it. Still got it, bro. I'm surprised if they was going to give him 40. But 40 years, they said, nah, you're not going to get a chance to live your life again. Because that's what the defense was trying to say. Like, they was trying to get from 2 to 20 years. To say, you know what I'm saying, in 20 years, he come home like when he like 40 years old-ish. Maybe he got a chance to grab some of his life back. You know what I'm saying? Never had a child. Never going to have a kid. You know what I mean? Probably never really even had sex like that. Probably had a couple of girlfriends in your life. So you really don't know what sex is really like for real. You're still a kid. You know, had your little sex intercourse, your little actions you've taken with a girl probably. If he did. Who knows, right? He had a girlfriend. I don't know if he did, though. So you're never going to really know what that feeling's like. But they said basically, you know, Austin wasn't able to live his life. So 35 years is enough. Sad situation, man. Sad situation. I got to get on the phones. I got to make some calls. I ain't get to speak to Meek yet. Hopefully my sisters, her and Queen Sheba out there is safe. And just because the trial's over, that don't mean they was on lives, on news, all type of thing. People blasting their pictures and their videos everywhere. My homeboy Mel was out there. My next homeboy, Sherrod the Ock, Nick Nack, my homegirl. You know what I mean? Hopefully they're all safe. Regardless, you just think the trial's over and this is done. So we got racists all around us, bro. People that don't like your coverage of this. You seen Neat go through it. People was attacking her, bro. She had me hot, son. Straight up. She had me really, really hot, son. Really, really angry, bro. Straight, bro. To see her crying like that, bro. Shit, damn, brought tears to my eyes, bro. Straight up, son. I don't like that shit, bro. I don't like people trying to think they could do anything to us, bro. I don't, son. I don't. I don't like that shit, bro. But luckily, you know what I mean? Had some BPs that was there. And they held it down, you know what I'm saying? And they held it down. God is great. You know what I'm saying? They protected her and they stood around her. And she was able to start up and fire up a next lava after that. And I was happy for that. Like I called her phone. Man. As soon as I seen that shit, I called her phone, bro. Let these fuck niggas get us out of our bag. Do your thing. Do your thing. Don't let none of these fuck people get us off our games, bro. You gonna stay on our game. Straight up. It's hard to be us. It's hard to do what we want to do. Everybody can do what they want to do, son. But when we try to do something, it's always something. It's always something, bro. So I don't know what Karmelo was feeling, bro. You know what I mean? We all done felt some levels of some racisms and all of that, bro. Living in America, bro. So I don't know what he was thinking, bro. I don't know what he was thinking, man. People thinking they could take advantage of him, do whatever the case may be. I don't know what he was thinking, bro. I don't. But we here now. We here now, bro. Facts, bro. Facts, bro. Salute to all my people in the chat, man. Y'all stay safe. Let us stay in our children's lives, man. I try to spend my time with my kids, bro. I've been talking to my son. My son's 18. You know what I'm saying? He's about to be 19 in August, my oldest son. I just be trying to keep him on the focus, man. Sometimes he be having his own mindset, his own little anger issues and all that shit too, man. And I just be trying to talk him through that shit, bro. That shit just be giving me like a little depression sometimes, bro. For real, bro. But we gotta stay the course, bro. We can't give up on our kids, bro. A lot of our parents then gave up on us, bro. A lot of our OGs from our hood wanted us to throw our lives away and try to help us to throw our lives away, bro. You know what I mean? I was 12, 13 when OGs like this. Whole list right here. Go in that corner, go smoke them. Straight. You know what I mean? Straight, bro. They wasn't saying go to school or nothing like that. That's what nigga told me, bro. You see women and children, spin the block and come back and smoke them. That's what nigga told me, bro. Shit heavier than me, I'm going down the block. Shit heavier than me, bro. So I got my own PTSD from being from the hood and from being through this shit, son. Trust me, son. There's an active war in my hood. Shit was like Chicago, 63rd, 64th Street, bro. It's not a joke, son. Not a game. I know what y'all think about me, bro. I try to treat people nice and I treat people fairly, bro. Do not push me. Do not. It's a fact. Don't do it. Salute to all my people, though. Y'all be safe. Y'all be safe out here. God bless us and our families that we have left, bro. You know what I mean? God bless our children, bro. Because both of those mothers sent their child to school, bro. And all of this shit done transpired, bro. Nobody thought that this would happen, bro. Nobody. If you get a chance to help somebody, help somebody. Talk to these young people, man. If you're a man, talk to a young man, talk to a young guy. Drop some jewels on him. Hopefully he won't have to go through some of the things that we've seen. OG's getting me straps, telling me go blow his fucking mind away. Send him to space. You know what I mean? Hopefully we can save these young people and pull their ass out of a drill car or going on a goddamn drill. Hopefully they don't get caught up. Want to be selling D-rugs and all the shit that I've seen in my lifetime, bro. And for the women, talk to these young women. Help them to not go through some of the things you went through and some of the things that you've seen and get caught up with some of the knuckleheads and all of that vibe, bro. We may never get accredited for helping these young people, but that is the future, bro. Not us, bro. The children are the future, bro. It's not cliche, it's just a damn fact, bro. So any child that we can help, no child left behind, bro. All of our children matter. So I've been on a war against people that weaponize against children online, bro. Even though my child was weaponized against too. You hear me? So some people supported people that weaponized against my child, bro. Do you hear me? I'm not one to weaponize against children, bro. So if you're supporting those kinds of people, don't think that you're my friend. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Don't think you are. If you're not defending children, who the fuck are you defending? Okay? Okay. I've been very cool and very nice to everybody I've met here online on YouTube, bro. I try to help defend y'all. I didn't try to watch people bully you and disrespect you. I cursed their ass out. I told them where the fuck I'd send their ass. For you, not just for me. For you, I did this. All of our children matter. Ain't about no gender war and what men and what women are not doing. What we're not doing is protecting our goddamn children. That's what we're not doing. So don't be a gender warrior out here pointing the fingers at this and that. That's why we lose focus on our children. Then we got shit like the Schweppsteins and all of that. That's what's going on, bro. Let us focus on our children, okay? And if I cursed your ass out based upon that shit, take it and get on. And get on. Because before that, prior to that, I was very cool to you. I wasn't disrespectful, right? All right. And if I've apologized, it's because I say, listen, I don't want to be that way. You're not going to push the needle on me. You're not. You're not. I want to see y'all defending children out here. And not being stoic and not saying shit. Men want to defend women all day, but you're not defending children. Men defending men out here, but you're not defending children. Women defending men, but you're not defending children. What the fuck's going on out here, bro? Y'all want to be together or some shit? What's going on out here, man? Protect the kids, man. Protect the children. Because this is what the hell is going on with Karmelo and Austin, bro. I need somebody to talk to their ass and say, listen, man, what's going on, man? Yo, word, what you got in your bag, son? Why you got that shit in your bag, man? What's going on? Who doing something to you? You need me to come up to that goddamn school, man? What's up, man? Know with somebody bound by the store down there. You want me to come around that bitch, come spin around there, man? See what the hell going on with them people over there, man? Nah, they're a little older than me, and I don't know. They be acting like they trying to follow me from school. Well, this is where we got to be, bro. They need somebody to talk to them, talk them off the ledge. When we caught up with each other beefing, this is what we missing. It's only 24 hours in a day, you know. So what are you spending your day doing? Talking about gender war shit? What men ain't doing and what women ain't doing? What are you doing? That's the question. What are you doing? I love all my people, y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Some of y'all have helped me get through some rough times in my own life, bro. You know what I mean? Even my grandmother died, son, Schwartz, and I was live. My grandmother passed away the day after my birthday, and that shit is coming up. It's going to make it a year right now. She died during the Diddy trial, bro. My birthday is the 21st of June, first day of summer. She died the 22nd. And for a while, I didn't cry, bro. But as I was going to get some trees from the trial, I was in front of the Diddy trial. I walked to get me some trees, bro. And I just thought about my grandmother not being here to see me, you know, changing my life and making it from some of the shit that I made it from, bro. I just broke down, bro. Took a lot to change my life, bro. Took a lot for me not to smoke some of you niggas. Took a lot, bro. Some of you niggas still deserve to be smoked. I mean, I changed my mind that much, bro. God is great, man. I'm just trying to put that energy into my children and help everybody that I can help in my life that's around me and anybody that need my help. That's what I do. Believe in your people, y'all. Believe in your people. Salute to y'all. You already know the vibe. Uda, uda, uda. Always on go, y'all. forever on go.
All my niggas from the Uda, all my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn rap, all my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat, you been stuck in a computer. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn rap. All my niggas from the Uda, all my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn rap, all my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat, you been stuck in a computer. All my niggas turn shooters, all my niggas from the Uda. Welcome to the Uda, all my niggas from the Uda. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn rap, all my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat, you been stuck in a computer. Show me the proof. All my niggas turn shooters, all my niggas from the Uda. Welcome to the Uda. All of my niggas insane, they tryna catch a mistake. Young niggas putting in pain, it in the game, all for the game. Niggas ain't playing for nothing. Went in school, laying in bang. My little nigga kill my little nigga. Full-time job not to kill niggas. Jump off the porch of the field, nigga. You was in the house, I'm a field nigga. No fuck boys around real niggas. Been a drug dealer since a little nigga, huh? To get a kilo, they'll kill a nigga. Fuck how you feel, nigga. To get some kilos, I'll kill a nigga too. Throw that rock like I'm Montana. Good head, raise my antennas. G49, not San Fran. Beat the box with my bandana. Then I dip set like I'm Santana. I'm in UK like that Montana. She bring me money, you press her. You got a jug and finesse her. I give a dick that'll change her life. You leave her change on the dresser. Shorty, you're wetty, you're wetty. That pussy ready, get ready. Don't wanna get ahead of myself, but I want the head for the Getty. She said she fuck with the Uda.